Thank you very much. We'll now call on Miss Honorable Denise Charles Pemberton, the parliamentary representative for the constituency of Soufriere.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me recognize Honorable Kozia Frederick, Minister for Environment, Rural Modernization, Kalinago Upliftment, and Constituency Empowerment. P.S. Lisa Valmont, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Environment. Chair and members of the Soufriere Scottsett Gallia Village Council. Mr. Florian Michel, General Manager, Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation, and staff of the corporation who are here. Pastor Bennett Thomas, community members, the media, and members of Lama who are present here today. Today is a proud moment for Soufriere, a moment where promise meets delivery, and where we take a major step in protecting our sea, our livelihoods, and our future. We are gathered here because of determination, foresight, and a commitment to deliver to you, the people of this constituency. The Lum Stream concern was first brought to my attention in 2016, shortly after I became your parliamentary representative. It was raised as an urgent issue by residents and the council, especially those who lived along the stream. So imagine my delight in 2019 when we identified a grant opportunity to address this challenge. Today, we celebrate the commencement of a critical project separating treating gray and black water entering the Soufriere Bay. I want to take this moment to thank Mr. Florian Michel for his diligence, commitment, and unwavering effort in securing this grant. Since 2020, we have been working closely with the OECS Commission to bring this project to life. And today, we see the results of persistence and faith. This project will result in improved sanitation and a significant reduction of contaminated water entering the Soufriere Bay, ensuring the protection of our marine biodiversity. But this project is more than drainage. It is about protecting our marine life, safeguarding our coastline, preserving our tourism assets, and securing the livelihoods of our people. And this sea you see right here is our gem. It's our future. We are a proud fishing community. We have Bubble Beach, Champagne Reef, Tusab Beach, kayaking experiences, sea trail, free diving competition, our precious coral reefs and turtles. Our sustainability, our growth, and our revenue are directly connected to the health of our coastal waters. Few places in Dominica, and I know the minister may disagree, have the richness of marine experiences that we have right here in Soufriere. That is why protecting our marine ecosystem must remain a priority for all of us. Because when our seas are protected, our fishers can fish, our tour operators can thrive, our vendors can earn, and our young people can see a future right here at home within the blue economy. Let me extend sincere gratitude to the guardians of our coastal waters. Special thanks to Lama, Weefers Jews, Kerry Arlene, Heston Charles, Sam Raphael, Wes Moses, Dale Michel, Simon Walsh, and the NEP team led by Francis Birmingham, the Village Council, and all other tour operators and stakeholders who continue to respect and protect our marine space. Special commendation to Simon Walsh for his leadership in coral reef restoration. Yeah, that is the 12, that initiative. And we honor today also the legacy of the late Daniel Langlois for his contribution to the protection of the Soufrière-Scottsed Marine Reserve. Your efforts matter. Today, I also send a clear message to those engaging in improper dumping along our coastline, particularly Champagne Reef area. Stop it. Work with the village councils to identify proper disposal methods or find alternative locations. Our coastline is not a dumping site. It is protected by law, and I'm calling on the police to support enforcement efforts to safeguard our marine reserve. As a people, we have greater responsibility for our environment. We must do better, and better we must do. Tourism continues to create opportunities for our people. Taxi operators, tour guides, vendors, village stays, owners, snackets, restaurant owners, cafes, bar owners, farmers, and fishers. Every business, whether large or small, benefits from this industry. And when tourism grows, government revenue grows, allowing us to invest more in healthcare, education, housing, infrastructure, and social programs. That is why we must protect this vital sector. One simple call I make to you. Everybody has a role to play in tourism. Keep Dominica clean and green. Every community should have a beautification program like Bagatelle, Collio, Bakers, and Soufrière. And while speaking about protection, I also want to address those operating within our sperm whale reserve, the first of its kind in the world. This is a source of national pride. We must treat these marine spaces with respect. We are protectors, not exploiters. We are monitoring closely. And as the saying goes, a word to the wise is sufficient. I extend sincere thanks to the European Union for funding this project, the OECS Commission for their continued support, the Prime Minister and the Ministry of Environment for prioritizing this initiative. Special thanks to Minister Kozia Frederick, P.S. Valmond, and again to Florian Michel, son of Galio. Despite delays and challenges, we stand here in celebration. We give thanks to God. This project is valued at approximately $2.23 million. EC, I encourage a contractor, Mr. Bernard Nation of Enviro Plus Consulting, to engage as many people as you can from the Soufrière constituency. The more people you engage, the greater ownership they will take of the project. So my people, another promise made, delivered. And while we celebrate, we recognize that more work remains. We have a drainage stabilization project soon to begin along the Point Michel and Soufrière Road, including the construction of 11 culverts. And why I'm sharing this with you, because it will also be led or be done through the Ministry of Environment. So thank Honorable Frederick in advance. So even in a time of uncertainty and global instability, your government continues to deliver results. This is why leadership matters. Credible, dependable, tested, and stable leadership. Let us continue working together to transform Soufrière into the tourism mecca of Dominica, where opportunity grows, communities thrive, and families prosper. The very best, and together we will build it, protect it, and pass it on to the next generation. May God continue to bless our constituency, our government, and our people. And remember, let's keep Dominica
clean, and green. May God bless all of you and have a happy resurrection weekend.
We want to thank Honorable Denise Charles Pemberton for these stirring words. Right now, I will invite Norma Cherry Favory. Norma was actually the project manager for the Biospace project when it began, but she has moved to something else right now, but she will give us a background on this initiative.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Denise Charles Pemberton, Parliamentary Representative for the Soufrière constituency. Honorable Kozia Frederick, Minister for Environment, Rural Modernization, Kalinago Upliftment and Constituency Empowerment. Chair and members of the Soufrière Scots Head Gallia Village Council. Members of our team from the OECS, Ms. Lisa Valmond, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Environment, Rural Modernization, Kalinago Upliftment and Constituency Empowerment, staff of the Ministry of Environment, Mr. Florian Michel, General Manager, Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation, and the staff of the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation, members of the project team, Alpha Engineering and EnviroPlus Limited, Pastor Bennett Thomas, community members, the media, good afternoon and welcome. I will start by saying we are finally here. We are so elated as the team at OECS to be here at this juncture in the project's implementation. A lot of sweat, a lot of hard work has gone into this, getting us to this stage. And I would really like to commend, first of all, our colleague at the European Union, Mr. Kete Peño. I think he's online with us. He is the Biodiversity Program Manager at the EU for his guidance and his direction. And of course, the team, Danny, Patan, Janelle, the technical specialist, and we have a very special person, our procurement officer in the background. She's not in the forefront, Joanna Roseman Atherton, and I think she deserves a round of applause. She is the one who moves, who shakes to get these procurements so that we could arrive at these points. Also, our finance team, I would like to mention Vernel and Gishad. So on behalf of the OECS Commission, I would like to express our sincere appreciation to the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica, the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation, and especially the community of Soufrière and the surrounding areas for trusting us to successfully undertake this initiative and deliver long-awaited results to the people of the community. Today marks an important milestone under the European Union funded Biospace project as we officially launch the works for the construction of small in-stream wetlands and the installation of septic tanks in source. This initiative reflects the OECS Commission's shared commitment to strengthening biodiversity management and thereby improving the resilience of our communities to environmental pressures, including climate change. By improving wastewater management and reducing environmental contamination, these works will help protect surrounding ecosystems, including the coastal and marine resources that are vital to the well-being and livelihoods of communities in this area. More importantly, this project has been shaped through engagement with the community. Consultations held in 2023 helped inform the approach and methodology for the works that we are launching today. This reflects the recognition that the people who live closest to these ecosystems are essential partners in protecting and sustaining them. We therefore recognize the source community whose cooperation and willingness to engage in dialogue have been instrumental in moving this initiative forward. And I think you should give yourselves a round of applause. The OECS Commission is also pleased to collaborate with several partners in implementing this initiative. We acknowledge the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation, the Soufrière Scots Head Marine Reserve, and the Department of Fisheries for their ongoing support. We also recognize the valuable contributions of EnviroPlus Consulting Inc., the contractor responsible for executing the works, and Alpha Engineering and Design Limited, the supervision consultant whose expertise will be instrumental in the successful delivery of this initiative. We take this opportunity to express our deep gratitude to the European Union for its continued support through the Biospace Project, which is empowering OECS member states to enhance biodiversity and sustainable management of terrestrial, marine, and coastal resources throughout the region. As we proceed with implementing this project, we look forward to ongoing collaboration with the community and all stakeholders. The lasting success of initiatives like this relies on the collective dedication of institutions and communities working together to safeguard the environment that supports us all. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And with the protocol being very well established, I would like to give you a short introduction to the consultant who will be undertaking the works right here in the Commonwealth of Dominica. Mr. Bernard Nation is a seasoned environmental consultant and founder of EnviroPlus Limited, based right here in the Commonwealth of Dominica. He stands out as an environmental visionary with professional experience and expertise in sustainable development, environmental management, and project design. His professional background combines technical knowledge with practical solutions for agriculture, forestry, watershed management, and eco-friendly project implementation. Under Mr. Nation's leadership, EnviroPlus has contributed significantly to sustainability efforts within the region, offering innovative technical expertise and project leadership that bridges environmental science with community development. Ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge your contractor for this phenomenal work that is about to begin, Mr. Bernard Nation from EnviroPlus Limited. And we invite a representative to say a few words to the community.
We wish to recognize and extend our sincere greetings to the Honorable Dennis Charles Pemberton, Parliamentary Representative for the Soufrière constituency, Honorable Kozia Frederick, the Minister of Environment, Rural Modernization, Kalinago Upliftment, and Constituency Empowerment, Mr. Florian Mitchell, the General Manager of the Dominica Solid Waste Corporation, and Mrs. Norma Cherry Favrier, Project Manager of Biospace. In addition, we'd also like to sincerely greet the representatives of the OECS, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the parish priest, the chairperson of the village council, fellow councillors, distinguished guests, as well as ladies and gentlemen. A pleasant good afternoon to you. Of EnviroPlus, we are truly honored to have been selected as the contractor for the Alum Stream project here in Soufrière. We express our sincere gratitude for the confidence placed in us to deliver this important initiative. This project holds special meaning to us. As our name suggests, EnviroPlus represents our commitment to the environment. This is not just a construction project. It is an environmentally engineered solution that uses natural biological processes to treat grey and wastewater in a sustainable way. We are pleased to confirm that the implementation process has already begun. Many residents would have observed the initial works already on the ground, and we are encouraged by the progress so far. We look forward to maintaining this momentum throughout the project period. Importantly, we have made every effort to align with the OECS mandate by engaging local labor. To date, over 90% of our workforce comes directly from this community. As we move forward into phases such as the septic tank installation and gabion basket construction, we intend to increase that number even further. Our primary focus is improving waste management within the area. We are pleased to be working alongside, of course, as mentioned earlier, the General Manager of the Dominica Solid Waste Corporation, Mr. Michel, who plays a key role as our focal point in this project. Our approach includes the use of a filter bed system supported by plant-based biological treatment. This allows us to treat wastewater naturally while protecting the surrounding environment. Additionally, we will be inspecting existing septic tanks and identifying sources of pollution entering the stream. Where necessary, defective systems will be replaced with a modern, prefabricated septic tank unit to ensure proper function and reduce contamination. We also want to emphasize that this project belongs to the community. The benefits extend directly to important areas such as locally termed, the Bubble Beach and the nearby marine reserve. Improving the quality of water flowing into these areas will have lasting environmental, social, and economical benefits. However, the long-term success of this project depends on all of us. We must recognize that everything we do on land, it affects our water. We've noticed that there has been instances of improper disposal of waste, especially white goods, near or into the alum stream, and this is a serious concern. We are encouraging all residents to take responsibility, speak up, and to support one another in protecting this environment. Let us not be passive bystanders. Let us actively contribute to the success and longevity of this initiative. In closing, EnviroPlus looks forward to successfully delivering this project in good time. We thank all stakeholders and community members for their continued support and cooperation. I thank you.
Thank you. And we acknowledge the presence of Alpha Engineering Limited, who is the design consultant for this project, having played a key role in shaping the technical vision, developing designs that are not only practical and efficient, but also environmentally responsible and suited to the needs of the community. Most of the residents would have interacted with representatives of Alpha Engineering sometime in 2023 when the initial consultations were taking place. So we invite Alpha Engineering Limited, and this is led by Mr. Fazir Khan, as well as Ms. Faye Mohammed. Mr. Khan? Or Danny is also online, yes. Ms. Danny.
Good afternoon, everybody. Oh, am I coming through too loud? It's great. I apologize that Mr. Khan is unable to attend. He's actually on a flight at the moment. And Faye Mohammed was actually responsible for the Take Kids and Nevis project. So this project was under me, Danielle Roach. I am a process engineer with Alpha Engineering. And I know I have presented basically the final designs for this before, but I figured I could do a quick run through for those who were present at the last meeting. So I will see if I can share my screen and you will let me know if you can see it. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, that's, you know, we can put it in presentation mode.
Okay, sorry, I'm trying. All right, here we go. All right, so this is the consultancy to enhance the coastal resilience works in the Commonwealth of Dominica and St. Kitts and Nevis. For Dominica, the main objective was to curtail the current threat to the marine biodiversity in the Soufriere Scots Head Marine Reserve by reducing the amount of undertreated or untreated wastewater emanating from the source area. The contracted scope of works will include the installation of 52 septic tanks with absorption trenches, 8 in-stream constructed wetlands, 15 linear meters of bank reinforcement, and 3 toilets within households that did not have such facilities. So for the expected benefits, the septic tanks will retain any solids as well as oils and greases emanating from the domestic wastewater. It will also provide primary treatment for the wastewater itself. The absorption trenches will provide natural biofiltration system to the septic tank effluent. The in-stream wetlands will provide natural filtration as well as nutrient removal via wetland plants. It will also stop silt and floating debris from going downstream. In periods of low flow, the wetlands can also be used as stream crossings, although you'll have to watch your step as it is baskets. So it will provide beautification for the area as well, and we are hoping for the possibility of employment for local residents during the construction. So this just shows a plan of where the wetlands will be installed. These will be adjusted based on actual site conditions. So this is just a drawing showing what the ways will look like themselves. So we're using Gabion baskets 3 aside to create a way within the stream itself. Wetland plants will be planted upstream of these ways, and vetiver grass will be used to help provide stability to the slopes on either side. This just shows some local wetland plants as well as the vetiver grass. You can see how long the roots are, so that's why they provide such great stability. So hydrological assessment was done for the area to ensure that the installed weirs will not increase the potential for flooding in the area. And the study did show them that it will not increase the risk. And in periods of high flow, the weirs will actually be drowned. They will be below the water level and will not increase the possible height of flooding in the area. So for the bank reinforcement, this is just a general schematic, but this will only be done in areas where it is required, like downstream of the existing Nawasa Way, there's the landslip area, and bank reinforcement like this will be installed along the sides just to retain the slope. So this is a typical schematic of what the installation of the septic tanks will look like, as well as the absorption trenches. As you all know, there is very limited space, so we had to basically do with what we can do. And each site will have to be investigated individually to determine the best layout. So just another layout. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I'm not hearing anybody.
Question. I can talk to the question. Yeah, well, for me.
I'm not hearing clearly.
No, I don't know if that is done. I will use it.
Okay, Daniel, thank you. Yes, I see Kete is on. I am not sure if we can take the program. Ask him to wave. Kete, you want to just maybe wave quickly?
Oh, yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Very happy to be joining remotely. Yeah, sanitation is very key for the EU as a support. So we have adopted the right to sanitation as a human right, as a subsequent human right to the right to live in decent conditions after the UN standards. So this is something which got a lot of attention, and we particularly welcome the gain of the superior area, first because of the impact on the surrounding ocean and in particular the protected area, and also because it's putting the light on so-called alternative solutions, but which should not be alternative. They are the most efficient and sustainable solutions in certain contexts, because you cannot always bring all the water all the way to the nearest treating plant. So it's very important to display that this kind of solution can be put in place in when the context is favorable for that, and we're very happy to support that, and I'll make sure that I will visit the site while the works are going on. And yeah, I wish you a good continuation of the workshop, and I might have a question. Is there any water testing downstream that has been organized before and after the works? Because that could be a good example of the capacity of such technique. Thank you very much.
Yes, as far as I understand, samples have been collected so that we should have results for the pre-installation quality of the water coming out of the stream, and then once the project is completed, samples will be collected again, so hopefully we can see very clearly the benefit of the project.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our next speaker, who currently serves as Minister for Environment, Rural Modernization, Kalinago Upliftment, and Constituency Empowerment. And he continues to play a pivotal role in advancing sustainable development and community resilience in the Commonwealth of Dominica. Please join me in warmly welcoming Honorable Minister Cozier Frederick.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Master Ceremony. So I come from an eastern settlement at the Kalinago territory, Kalinago space. I'm happy to join you here in another western settlement, and so I want to acknowledge the folks on the head table, the Honorable Minister for Tourism, but more importantly, the Member of Parliament for the constituency, Florian Mitchell, a son of the soil and manager at the Solid Management Corporation, a good friend from the OECS, Norma, and the staff from the OECS. Importantly, folks from the community. I think it's so important to have you here, and so important to celebrate your community. Piers Valman from the Ministry and the staff who are here. And also when I scanned the room earlier on, I see some serious members of the public service here. That's important because we have serious researchers here from forestry, from agriculture, from fisheries. And all of this is important because when we are doing these interventions in a community, it takes a whole of a government approach. Importantly, there are folks who are building their lives on this in these communities. And importantly, we have the wonderful folks here, Mr. Perriman here, who have been doing some work as well in protecting what we don't always see with the naked eye. But it's so important to celebrate that work because it is important work in keeping the integrity of our ecosystems alive. So I want to acknowledge all of you here this afternoon. And so I am really happy to be part of to be associated with this project because it moves beyond just waste management. It goes deeper because when you look at the Soufriere community, and 1,000 years, and if you want to go back further, this landscape evolved from a volcanic reaction. And so what we see out there is not by chance. And that's why it has to be protected. And that legacy has to be held in trust for the generations to come. And so we enjoy this wonderful space. And at one point, the Canada folks live here as well. My people live here. And just to my back, you would have seen a wonderful infrastructure, a church built in that space as well. So there's a strong Kalinago heritage in that space. Because if you look at the history of our country, Kalinago people settled along rivers and streams and access to the sea. And so we enjoy this space. But moving forward within the colonial period, we see the settlements growing and growing. And so we have development on one hand, because we are growing a settlement, we're growing a community. And on the other hand, we have to look at how we treat nature. So as the community grew more and more, balance of development and protecting nature is always a tricky thing to balance. And sometimes we speak about one as opposed to the other. And I totally erase this narrative. I think there can be balance. And as we can see in this space, there's clear balance. We have a wonderful marine reserve out there. The marine life is being protected, and fishers are enjoying and making a good living. And so we can do it in a proper way. We can do it in a way that balances the development and our protection of our natural resource. So we have a gift from Mother Nature. And we are living in that space, but we have to play our part. And as people who live within the settlement and people who come here every day, we have to ensure that the biodiversity of the small community can remain intact. And so hard engineering is important, the walls and bridges and that kind of infrastructure, but also we need to look at the nature-based solution. So in that project, we are capturing all of this, that they are the softer ones that we can do, the softer ones that we can maintain in our own time. And this softer one lead us back 200 years. So you see, it's a full circle. It's a full circle because sometimes we forget the heritage of our people who have struggled in this land for many, many years. And we think that we can always import technology from outside to solve our problems. So within that space, we are able to do this. The minister said earlier on, this is a growing and a thriving tourism hub. And how can we treat these people coming into that space, respecting the space, playing their part? But also importantly, we as the hosts have to ensure we have an environment that is all embracing, that when people come in, they can also play their own part. And so we have to keep people in check, but we also have to keep ourselves in check. And that's why the Ministerial Environment, we are so excited to be part of this project. And the work by Florian, he's been in science of waste management for a few years, and he so happens to be from that community as well. And he's doing something here that we need to magnify across the country. Because when we go along the west coast of our country, they're all first Kalinago settlements, like Kolihu and Kulibishtri and Meru, all of these, and the names are actually Kalinago names. And they, Biosh, and they have similar situations like this, where there's a water flow into the ocean, where people have settled and they keep growing and growing. And so we have to use this project as a defining point for us in terms of grey water and black water management. And the science about this is very simple. I am just a normal guy from Senegal. I understand grey water to be stuff that comes from your sink, from the shower, and the darker water are some stuff that a bit heavier. And so they cannot be treated in the same way. And so the science is important. You know, we can't take it by chance that, it will happen to fix itself. We have to intervene as the beneficiaries of that space to ensure we can manage it in our own time. And we can't take it for granted. You know, we seem to forget in 2017 there was a massive hurricane. Destroyed our entire country. Some people forget that. But nature was able to bounce back. And in so doing, we're able to have better lives and to grow our economies. But in doing that, we have to play our part. If we continue to cut down the trees around the forest, we will affect the water supply. So, no one's going to take water. We're up in arms. And then the hydroelectricity power is not there because the water level is low. And we complain, but we're not playing our part. When we go into the ocean and we throw stuff in the sea, when we dump indiscriminately along the coastline, and we want to know how come the coral reefs and the people there complain about have to make a living. We have to be able to balance those two. And as the leader at the Ministry of Environment, I feel very deeply about this. And I'll tell you why. Because that space we call Waitikuguli, my ancestors shed blood for that space. People of African descent who came into that space also served under rough conditions, whip on our backs and bleeding and dying. And now we are in an independent space where we are free to speak. But we have to be careful what we say. Because when we speak, we have to speak from a point of knowledge and strength, not from a point of ignorance and arrogance or deceit. It must come from a place that will help our community to grow. So I say this because I know for a fact that we will continue to do the work that we do. The minister has good leadership within the community, and we want to celebrate that work. And across the country itself, we see the development happening in a very strident way. But we are mindful that with that development will come certain hurdles. And if I zero back in on the waste and the grey and black water, it is something that we can't avoid. We all have to take showers. We all have to wash dishes. But we have to ensure that we can protect the assets that we have. And we can do it in a way that it doesn't affect our livelihoods. It doesn't affect what I would like to call modern nature. And that when those of us who care a little deeper or who have a better understanding express our concerns, it should not be looked at as complaining or preventing or swaying away from our development path. Our path is very clear on the island. We're the nature island. We have a brand. It's something that we have to upkeep for ourselves first. And then we can sell to the rest of the world. And for the most part, we have been doing it. So I really want to celebrate the folks who are actually doing the work. And sometimes we don't celebrate them. We don't celebrate people who manage their garbage from the source, who separate. We don't celebrate that. But we highlight a little pile in a corner. And we don't celebrate the people at the village council level who basically volunteer to serve. And the work they have to do to keep the place tidy and clean. So we have to do this, and I think it's so important that we do it in our time. Because the very same way we complain about a generation before, we may well find a time that the generations after us will also complain about us and ask us, what did we do in our time? And so this small intervention here, it's just about $2 point something million. That's small thing. And we're hoping that we can, through the OECS and through the European Union, we can get more. Because when climate change speaks, you're talking about serious money to do the work. Because building a resilient country is an expensive venture. You know, when my ancestors lived in that space, there was no road to that space, you know. We took a boat and I went to Roseau. There's a boat. The sea was calm, we paddled across here. Now we have to maintain a road. Now in doing a road, we have to cut through the mountain. When you cut through the mountain, we expect some erosion and deforestation. So all of those we have to balance. And I think this is where we are. We are at a crucial point in our history, in our country, to really balance how we treat nature and how we develop. And we can do it very good here. And here's a good example, because you have a small community right on the shore, right on the shoreline. You know, and I heard the cry of the PAL rep when her entire constituency was under some serious stress after Hurricane Maria, cut off from the rest of the country because the road is along the coast, and all of this ruggedness from the volcanic reaction many years ago. And so it's a hard task. And it's always a hard task to develop Dominica. Some people pull back and say, oh, we should do this. It's not easy to do Dominica. When we built our roads in the 1950s, every time we do a mile of road, one shower for about 15 minutes would take off an entire piece of road. It wasn't easy. Have you driven from Roseau to the Carnival Territory, where you go over about 5 or 6 vegetational areas, and you cross a number of different mountains, and there's a source in every corner? And just imagine you have to do this, and we have to do it because we have to connect people. We have to build our economy. And so we sometimes we treat those things as very trivial. We complain about a small pothole, we complain about a tree falling on the road, and people have this new posture. What are the authorities doing? We all part of a country. It's all our country. If you're driving down the road and there's a tree across the road, and take out your lao or your cutlass or whatever they call your machete and clear it. Don't wait for the authority. Who are the authorities to come and do that? It's in your space. It's a safety thing for yourself and for your friends who might drive through. So we have to play our part. And I think this is what is so important about this project, because in the consultation process, we involve people. And people are able to give their ideas and say what we should do. Because this community have to take ownership of the project. This community, when we leave, when the OECS heads back into its spaces, when I go to the Carnival Territory, when PS goes to downtown Roseau, this is your place. The people from that space, this is your space you have to enjoy. And so you have to treat it with care. And you cannot take it for granted that protecting nature is someone else's responsibility. And if we go just beyond the border of the shoreline, we see a wonderful asset in the marine space. Sometimes underappreciated. Because you have to realize that everything we do on the land ends up in the sea. My grandmother said, the sea takes everything. So if you eat a lot of food, they say, So it takes everything. So how we farm on the land and use of fertilizers gets to the sea. How we manage our grey and black water gets to the sea. So we have to ensure that we play our part. And I'm really so happy for Florian, who actually worked on this project feverishly, and the OECS to come on board and doing this serious work. Because this is serious work. You know, there's a kind of notion in our country these days that, oh, we should do that, or they should do that. Who is they? We have to take leadership, because it's our country to protect. No one is going to come from outside to do it for us. We have to do it for ourselves. And we complain. But when I look around the room this morning, there's environmental health there as well. When I look around the room, I see people who are serious about this space. And that's why you're all here today. You're all here because you're concerned about what's happening in our country. And you understand what can happen in a community like ours, here in Soufriere, when you are unable to manage grey and black water. When it gets to the ocean, what it can do to the marine life. And in the space that we have enjoyed for generations. And how we can extend that for many more generations to come. So I already have a grandson. So my great-grandchildren will come around, they can enjoy this. And the community can celebrate it. And the parliamentary representatives can celebrate as a major initiative that is now in Portsmouth, in Bioche, in Collihu, in Collibistri, in Mero, in Layu, in Maho, in Massac, even in downtown Roseau. Because we take it for granted that building a country is also about throwing up buildings and doing roads. But it's about building the resiliency and the capacity of the nature to heal itself. And this is why I'm so happy to be associated with this. So happy to lead at the ministry. So happy to have Florian as a member of staff, but also a member of this community. And also importantly to have friends like Mooney and Fevrier here who come in that space and they feel part of the country. They feel like they could spend time here. And I feel like they have a second home here. because it's important. And when you look, somebody time me, please. So when we look into the region itself, we see that Dominica is part of the OECS, a nice tight-knit economic, or I should say a financial arrangement where we share common currency. And we have lessons that we can learn from various parts of the OECS. But what I also realize is that Dominica is really unique among the OECS. And if I spread it to CARICOM, to small islands in the Pacific and in Oceania, Dominica is the most unique small island developing state. I'll tell you why. We have freshwater lakes and boiling lakes. We have hot soufriers like over here, up the hill, and cold soufriers. We have rivers like running flat, and we have waterfalls. We have black sand beaches and we have white sand beaches. We have mountains and serious valleys. I mean, there's no other country have all of those things in one place, in one single place. And we here are living in that space. Tourism. People spend money to come to places like this, and this is the place that you grow up every day. When I go up in Salibia in the morning, I see the sunrise. I take serious fresh air from the Atlantic Ocean. I drive over all the hills. I stop at a source in Bells, I drink some water. I come to Roseau. I try my best to do a good day's work. And then when I see the sunset, and like when I drive up tonight, I will be driving under the moonlight. People pay for that across the world, around the world. And so this is what Mother Nature has for us. And I think if we do not play our part in our own time to protect it for our children, we will have lost an opportunity to not just be occupiers of the land and try to own it for ourselves, but to understand the land as Mother Nature, and nature that nurtures us. And in the old principles of the indigenous people, that we can't own the land. We just pass, it's a passing, no capacity. We're going through, we're using the land to live and to survive, but when we leave it, we want to leave it in a better space for those generations to come. So I'll keep saying this, because environment protection is not just the Ministry of Environment. It's not just the tourism division ministry to do promotion of that space. When you see a sunset on the horizon, they take a nice picture of it and share it. When you drive along the road and you see a nice rainbow, take a picture of it and say, hey, big up Dominica. Let's move away from taking pictures of the negative stuff. Because there are far more beautiful stuff in our country that we can protect. And when I zero back into this wonderful little community here, I feel so honored to be here, because I feel that if I stay here a bit longer, I will feel the ancestors are talking to me. This is a serious thing. And maybe the Soufriere will rumble a bit, because nature is aware of what we're doing. I'm not a super spiritual person, but nature knows what we're doing. And nature is realizing that we're trying to cure and trying to fix and trying to also play our part in keeping it intact for generations. And so I really want to thank you again. And we have leadership at the Ministry of Environment. Mr. Hunter is here, Pierce Valmont is here, all the wonderful staff, history is all the wonderful people here. And we have to keep on celebrating our people. That's why I said for maybe the third time, Florian Mitchell. A solid man of the soil, who really do the hard work, to do the research. Because it's not easy going to a commission and saying, I want a project for $2.2 billion. You don't know what, it's not a tree you're shaking. You know, like when I grew up as a boy, I shake a mango tree and I'd fall and you pick up one. You have to be convincing, you have to do the work. I mean, Dr. Ali is here, you have to go through the project documents, and you have to be able to convince the funders that what you're doing is sustainable. What you're doing is affecting lives in a positive way. So I heard the Parliament talk about, to Mr. Nation here and Mr. Bruni, then get your local people, because that's the only way they can take ownership of it, or the better way to do it. And so when you come into that space, the money will circulate. The money is spinning, like we say, the money will turn. And we need the money to turn. Sure. And so while we protect the environment, we protect nature, while the money turning, our children will enjoy this beautiful space. And the Murray Reservoir there will be happy for it. Our cousins are out there. The 200 plus of our cousins are out there. And the sperm whales are out there. They'll be happy to know that there's a little less of a distaste in their water when they go. And then the wonderful reefs that are struggling to survive will get a little relief. And they say, yes, so fair people try nothing. So I really want to thank you for being here this afternoon and to be part of this positive project. And I know it's going to all go well. So be a launching pad for projects like this across our country to treat with grey and black water in a very proactive way. Thank you very much.
All right, we would like to thank Honorable Cozier for this wonderful speech, very uplifting, very encouraging. And I think there are many gems that we could take from that. He really is an ambassador, not just for Dominica, but for also the region when it comes to environmental sustainability. So right now, we will call the person who has been thanked the most to give the vote of thanks, Mr. Florian Mitchell.
Good afternoon, everybody. I like to freestyle, but today I will try not to. I mean, there's a lot of commendation for me. I'm really project, but I really don't like too much commendation. I just rather stay in the back. But I mean, I grew up in the community, so the project is very dear to me. And again, can I say protocol has been established, so I can just speak freely? But I mean, I grew up in Galia, and I've known the Alamshin for many, many years. And at the Ministry of Environment, we don't just see waste management. I mean, environmental management is my background. So anytime I see something concerning environment, trying to figure out how we could leverage some resource into this space called Dominica Waitikobuli. And I mean, I grew up in Galia, so I know source all my life. I had a grandaunt used to live right in Sus, so I grew up in Sus, so I know the community very well. And when we saw the opportunity, I reached out to the pilot. I said, hey, look, I see something on the Biospace project. Can we try something out? Say yes, and then it began from there. And today we are very delighted to launch the project. I mean, it's a long time coming. I mean, a lot of the public discussion, most of the community members say, oh, so long are you speaking, and so long are you saying, and so long this and so long that. But as the minister said, both ministers, I mean, those things take time. When you are leveraging grant financing, it takes time. And you know, donor like the EU, they have their requirements that we have to ensure that our checks and balances meet the requirements and the objectives of the project. And that's why we're here today. So I'll kind of go back on script and just read what I wrote, because I think what I wrote is kind of nice. So it is an honor to stand here before you today to express our profound gratitude as we mark a significant milestone for the Sufre community. The launch of this grey water project is not merely a ceremony, it is a declaration of our commitment to the blue economy and the preservation of our natural heritage. And we say blue economy, and Minister did not divulge on it too much, but we're going to establish a whale sanctuary. So again, it's in our space, so you could see how the projects interconnect with each other. You know? To the OECS Commission and the Biospace Project, we extend our sincerest thanks to the OECS Commission represented here today, Ms. Norma and the team. And we have Mr. Paynew online. I didn't want to butcher his name for the Biospace Project, funded by the European Union. So this project was designated with a clear intent to contribute to the sustainable development of our region through the management and sustainable use of coastal and marine biodiversity. By choosing Sufre as a beneficiary, you have recognized the vital importance of our local ecosystem. This project directly addresses the biospace mission by mitigating land-based sources of pollution, ensuring that the space that we call the biospace remains pristine for generations to come. To the Ministry of Environment, Honorable Kozia Frederick, we thank you and your ministry for the technical oversight and the vision to integrate sustainable infrastructure into rural modernization. Your leadership ensures that environmental protection is not just a policy, but a lived reality for our people. And just to play a politician, I take a little step from my power. I did a little walk yesterday, and a friend of ours who's a beneficiary, I asked him to be here. And I was talking to him, Mr. Williams, and you could already see infrastructure So you could see a direct benefit for somebody in the community. And that is what the project is portraying. So our parliamentary representative and the Minister of Tourism, Honorable Dennis Charles Pemberton, your dual role is perfectly reflected in this project. You have championed the needs of Suffolk residents while understanding that our tourism product relies entirely on a healthy environment. Thank you for your tireless advocacy for this constituency. As we conclude, let us reflect on what this water system truly means for residents. It means improved public health and modernized drainage that respects the integrity of our village. For our visitors, it ensures that Suffolk remains a premium green destination where tourists exist in harmony with nature. Tourism exists in harmony with nature. For the Marine Reserve, most importantly, this project acts as a shield for the Suffolk Scotland Marine Reserve by filtering grey water before it reaches the Caribbean Sea. We are protecting our coral reefs, and to our friend Simon for your great job, our fish stocks for fisher folks, and the breathtaking biodiversity that makes this bay the world famous bay. And when I'm stressed from service, I just give you a little thing. I go up on the islet with my family and we just sit down and talk and enjoy the view. In closing, to the contractors, the technicians, and the committee members who provided their input, thank you. Let this be a model for the rest of the island, and we did not convolute. Together, we protect our waters, we protect our future. Thank you all, and may we continue to work together for a resilient and beautiful Dominica. Again, thank you.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of an amazing ceremony. We want to thank all of our representatives, our ministers, community members. Thank you so much. And also thank you to the European Union. We want to make sure that we remember that this project is being undertaken by the European Union, the OECS, and the government of St. Lucia. I'm sorry, government of Dominica. My apologies. So right now we will move outside for the groundbreaking ceremony. Thank you.
Alice, what are you doing now?